Amy Hardaway Southern Tree, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. We here with the fight breakdown and prediction between Carlos Adames and Julian JRock Williams. Shout out my guy Ray Buck. What's good, Jazz? My boy MP. What the fuck? What's good? Appreciate you sliding through. I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time today with this particular EP, but we got boxing. We got boxing this weekend. Middleweight boxing this weekend. We got number one contender Carlos Adames facing off against former champ Julian JRock Williams. This is for an interim belt. So the winner of this fight, this is for an interim strap. So the winner of this fight will be next in line. The winner of this strap will be next in line for a title shot. So there's that. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. What's good, Daniel Beard? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Daniel Beard. If you did y'all get asked when y'all came in? But I digress. Carlos Adames, man, he's one of the top contenders. I can't call him a prospect anymore, right? He's past that. He's past that prospect stage, right? Carlos Adames is one of the top contenders in the game right now. Carlos Adames is a fighter that I'm high on. There was a time where I thought Triple G, right, will be fighting Carlos Adames because of the mandatory situation. But of course, Triple G ended up getting out of that, right? Then he became, Jamal Charlo's mandatory, right? And he's been kind of, he's one of the few guys, right, who's been serious and adamant about fighting Jamal Charlo. At this point, right, he doesn't quite have the cachet or a title or anything like that to offer Jamal Charlo. So Jamal Charlo ain't really, trying to entertain that Carlos Adames fight. But as far as talent-wise goes, I do think Carlos Adames is as talented as any middleweight or 154-pounder because he goes back and forth from both. You know what I mean? I do think he's as talented as any 160-pound or 154-pound guy. I think he could compete with all of the guys at 154 and 160, including, both Charlos, right? He facing off against Julian JRock Williams. Julian JRock Williams is an interesting story, man. Julian JRock Williams, it seems like he was once at the top of the boxing mountain, right? But he's falling mightily, right, from the graces of, the boxing elites. He's still in the mix, right, trying to get himself together. This fight with Carlos Adames would most definitely put him right back at the top of the division, right? It's going to be a tall task. His last fight, Julian JRock Williams. Let me check it out. Let's go to they box red. Julian JRock Williams' last fight was versus. That's why I couldn't think of his name, right? It was versus Ronaldo Mencelli. And the fight before that, he lost to a guy named Vladimir Hernandez. And before that, he got stopped by Jay Henson Rosario. So Julian JRock Williams is a fighter in his last 3 fights. He's 1-2. He's trying to find his way. He had that big win over Jerry Hurd, right? And since that big win over Jerry Hurd, he kind of just been, falling by the wayside a little, right? But after his big win over Jerry Hurd, he lost his titles to Jay Henson Rosario, in which we saw Jermell Charlo end up taking Jay Henson Rosario's belt, right? JRock Williams got back in the ring against Vladimir Hernandez in his last fight, and his fight before his last, and he lost a split decision against Vladimir Hernandez. So we've had Carlos. I said Carlos. So we've had Julian JRock Williams, right, lose 2 fights that we most definitely thought that he should win. Now in his last fight, he came out, he got the unanimous decision win, but that was an 8-rounder, right? Julian JRock Williams was just a world level championship fighter about 2 years ago, and now you got him fighting 8-rounders. You know what I mean today, but he was victorious in his 8-rounder versus a guy that I never heard of, Rolando Colasco Mencelli, right? But we got Julian JRock Williams. 28, 3 losses, 16 KOs, been stopped twice himself. He's facing off against Carlos Adames. Carlos Adames is 22-1, 17 KOs. never been stopped, right? Carlos Adames is 5'11" with a 73-inch arm reach. Julian JRock Williams is 5'10" with a 72-inch arm reach. So Carlos Adames is the bigger fighter in this fight with the longer reach, which really doesn't bode well for Julian JRock Williams, right? But I digress. Julian JRock Williams, 5'10", 72-inch arm reach. Julian JRock Williams is a pure boxer. You know what I mean? He's a pure boxer, counter puncher, counter guy. He's actually highly skilled, right? There isn't any punch or any movement or anything that he can't do in the ring. With Julian JRock Williams, it's more so as if his body lets him down more so than his skill. A good comparison, right, to Julian JRock Williams on the lower level, right? Lower level, but Tony Harrison, right, would be a good comparison for Julian JRock Williams, right? That kind of boxer, slick guy, getting up there in age as well. The knockout starting to, increase a little more. Not gonna lie, Julian JRock Williams is in an uphill battle versus Carlos Adames, especially with him having, these chin issues, durability issues. Carlos Adames ain't really the guy you want to step in the ring, right, to be trying to test that out. I think he's been a good run for Julian JRock, right? I think Carlos Adames is just gonna be a little too much for him. The counter punching ability to Carlos Adames, the power, the pressure. I think it's gonna be just a little too much for Julian JRock Williams. I very well feel like we could be seeing Julian JRock Williams' last fight this weekend. My brother's keeper, D Free, was good. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. I got another breakdown after this thing, but I want to hit y'all with this breakdown real quick. I'm kind of feeling like, man, this may be like the last gas for Julian JRock Williams. It's gonna be an uphill battle for him to get in there against Carlos Adames to deal with that pressure. I think Carlos Adames stops Julian JRock Williams. I got Carlos Adames TKO stoppage over Julian JRock Williams. I think eventually, I think it's going to start off right as a boxing battle, right? It's going to be a little touching here, a little touching there from both fighters. And then Carlos Adames at some point in this fight is going to just realize, you know what, man, I'm a level above Julian JRock Williams at this point. And I think he's going to start to put that pressure on and eventually get Julian JRock Williams out of there. But I ain't going to keep y'all too long on this Southern TEP. Y'all catch me on my next Southern TEP. Erickson Lubin versus A-Reeds coming up right after this one. Skinny Hardaway Southern T. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.